and then use the language that's in the project description. Not hot and cold, it's steam and process water. That was clear. Unfortunately, it was also clear that folks didn't even read the technical report guidelines. Things like put the equations in the background to prepare the audience for what's going to happen and why we're doing measurements, what we're going to do with it, demonstrate your technical competence, and so forth. So at the very highest level, those are the two things. It's read the project, all right? So when you go out and work, your boss sends you an email, read what he or she wrote. Don't start working in lab and saying, then I poured the test tube in to whatever. You know, no one cares at that level. It's like the big picture. All right, so what I'm going to do for each section, there's a number of scores written, and I'm just going to give you guys a verbal thing about what's in there, all right? So first, what do we look for? And forgive the filming. I've asked Elliott to film this to ensure fairness across sections and make sure that all lab sections get similar feedback. So in the abstract, what do you think we're looking for? We're telling people about the project at the highest level. Anybody? Objectives. Like, why are we doing this? All right? It's not an experiment. It's not about measuring heat transfer rate in the lab. It's about investigating recovery of steam to save money. Right? In the end, you're going to have a job because there's money, right? Whether it's treating a patient or whatever it might be, that's what it is. Objectives. Okay, what else do we look for?
Snapshot of results.
Snapshot of methods.
Okay.
So how did you do it? Why are we doing it? How did we do it? And when we say how, we want to have content there. Like, what flows did we use? Configurations. You should see some numbers. Crisp writing, some numbers. And then synopsis of results. Now with the results, a lot of people talked about efficiencies, and that's cool, but you want to connect the dots to the ultimate goal, which is recovering that steam to save some money. And so how are you going to do that? I don't know. You might be looking at efficiency. You might try an overall heat transfer coefficient. You know, we'll see. I'll give you guys some hints on Friday night. But, okay, and then the last score that you'll see there is for writing. That's out of 10. 10 is perfect. No one's going to get 10 on writing. I figure I would have gotten like an 80 on this if it was me. Okay? I'm just saying. All right? The high score was 85. The average for this section is 55. Okay. So a 10 is perfect, not going to happen. And if you look at the feedback in the writing, I'm hoping you see, wow, I could have put a lot more effort into that. It could be a lot sharper. Okay, in the background and methods, those were scored by our fantastic writing TAs, Tony and Colleen. But basically, the background not counting for a lot. I think we had 10 points total. We're just trying to get you used to presenting the background of how things work and some equations. It should be maybe this long for this. You know, for this lab, it's not like you're cutting-edge scientific work. There's a couple equations you're going to present, maybe a little longer when you explain how you're going to scale up. Then the methods, though, we're really looking for some content there. In the methods, we're looking for a detailed description of what you did, which includes equipment names, makes, details on length. So unlike what Jessica mentioned earlier, it's not a synopsis. That's detailed, crisply written. You should look at it and see a lot of numbers. Then a process flow diagram. Pictures 1,000 words, right? You're going to describe it in 3 paragraphs. You're going to give someone a simple schematic that's labeled. Now it could be a photo. Photos are great, but you've got to label them. A dark photo in a report, not going to be too helpful. A dark photo with a light photo with labels, great. A handwritten process flow diagram with a photo next to it, awesome, right? Because that's what we do. We take a complicated process, simplify it. And then the last score is for writing on that. It's like, how well did you present your method? The results of discussion, total of 10 points, not much, obviously, but looking for presentation results. Here's the big feedback on this. You don't just say, and we concluded the greatest efficiency is this. That's extremely unconvincing, right? Just like the student that emailed me in 211 and said, I concluded without a doubt that the absolute pressure is the difference in a manometer, right? Not very compelling. You want to present your data, talk about error analysis, which you may or may not have done. You just want to be honest. Then it's time to make a conclusion, right? Show us what you measured, what's your variation, and then what are your conclusion. That's the big thing we'll be looking for in the next round, is walking the reader through that and convincing us to go with your recommendations, which are going to be pretty important in this report next week. So then finally, Other pieces in the report we look for. Oh, the other thing in the initial results and discussion is you were asked to provide an experimental plan. A lot of people said, we're going to run more flow rates. You know, what I like to say is, and I don't know if I coined this term, but I'll just say it to you, is a plan without numbers is not a plan. All right? We're engineers. A plan means we're going to do 12 runs, these flow rates randomized in this way. All right? That's a plan. So then finally, the last two pieces. One is acknowledgments. You guys have the deck stacked against you with two difficultly spelled names. Elliott has two T's in it, folks. And Elaine does not have an E on the end. But this is a great reminder of how important it is to spell the names of human beings correctly. Because if you thank somebody, right, so someone thanks, I'd like to acknowledge Paul Harding, that kind of takes away from the gratitude. It really does. Didn't even know who I am, what, right? So acknowledgments, it's like who and why. Who and why. So look at the feedback there. Then finally, appendices, which is basically sample calculations. You're going to present heat transfer rates, efficiencies to us, and not tell us how to calculate it. Again, not going to be really compelling. And so we went through that in class, you guys. I showed you examples. A lot of people didn't even include sample counts. So I'm kind of at a loss there. But I'm not angry. It's Monday. I love you guys. All right? I'm going to keep saying these things. And I'm telling you, you need to absorb it or the pain will continue. And we don't like it. I mean, it's kind of fun, right, Isabella? It's not bad. She's laughing and smiling. That's great, a good attitude. So take the feedback and kind of internalize this. And I would recommend doing it sooner than later. So with that, any quick questions before I let you wrap up and clean up?
So for our next report, are these changes going to be incorporated and somehow included in the
Great, great. So Logan's asking, for the next report, do we incorporate these changes? What do you think? Yes. Of course. You're going to incorporate this feedback. You're going to change the context a little bit, and you're going to actually close out on the project objectives.
So will some of this move to like an appendix or something?
So she's asking if some of it will move into an appendix. Yeah, Tony?
I should mention that they should come to office hours.
Well, come to office hours. Use the Writing TA office hours. They're there for you, and they've been attended, not. So lots of opportunity there, lots of effort setting up, preserving space. You've got to start early to do that. So it's a good question, and I just ask you to use your judgment. Is this going to be, is this the final report? Look at the project, look what was asked. What are the deliverables for the project? Is this outline going to do it? Make an outline. Wow, imagine that. Handwritten, back to an old piece of scratch paper. What do I need to include? All right, thanks for the questions, Logan. All right, with that, thanks very much. Keep your chins up, okay? It's going to be all right.